It's been just over a year since I moved to LA from Canada, and one of the biggest and most surprising changes I've made to my life has been in my makeup routine. Hi guys, welcome back if you've been here before, and if not then welcome. My name's Holland, and today I want to talk about how moving to LA has changed and really just simplified my makeup routine. I moved to LA from Vancouver, BC, Canada just over a year ago. It was last August that I moved here. I moved here because I just wanted to change my life. I grew up in Vancouver. I obviously love the weather in California and everything that goes along with it. I had just graduated my program back home, and I wanted to work somewhere where I could really learn and develop, like in my job professionally and also personally. One of the goals I set out for though when moving to LA was to get great skin. I've actually never really had particularly troubling skin. Like I've never had really bad acne or any scars or anything, just kind of like some red marks. I'm actually not wearing any makeup right now except for my brows. Just have kind of like some red marks from like picking zits and like, you know, like hormonal breakouts, that kind of thing. And then like some freckles you can maybe see right now too. To kind of document my years of being out in the sun without SPF. But despite all that, still found it really uncomfortable to go out of the house, leave the house without any makeup on. And I really wanted to change that because every time I visited California, it was super hot. And I just knew that no amount of setting spray or makeup or layers would keep the makeup on my face. And if I ended up moving here, I just knew I wouldn't be able to wear as much makeup as I was wearing back home. So back home, I actually grew up obsessed with makeup. I went to actually Blanche McDonald and graduated with a global makeup artistry certificate because I thought that I wanted to work in makeup and like be a makeup artist. But although I didn't follow through with that, I still loved makeup and playing with makeup. Like I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Nothing's better than going to Sephora and shopping for all new makeup and having all the swatches on the back of your hand. But I would wear layers on layers to school. Like I would wear full on makeup with like the lashes, eyeshadow, liner, everything. I was getting to a point in my life where it just wasn't convenient anymore. I just didn't have the time in the morning to do all that makeup. I work at a job where that wasn't really necessary at all. When you're rushing through that makeup in the morning, it's no longer something that you enjoy doing. So I felt like something had to change. So here we are now, 14 months into my skin reset and LA journey. My skin has never looked better. I'm ready to share what I've learned over the past 14 months and what has helped me overcome my makeup obsession, make me feel more confident in my skin, and just cut down on my daily makeup application. Lesson number 1 is to invest in your skin. And I know you've heard this 1,000 times before, but it is seriously the truth. I didn't know where to start or what my skin needed when I first moved to LA, but I knew I wanted to see a professional, like an expert in the field. So I actually went to Jen Hollander at, well now she's at the new spot that opened, the Cupid's Lips on Sunset in Beverly Hills. I knew that she would just be super honest with me. I've linked her Instagram down below. She is just honest, and she has more of like a natural look in terms of knowing what products to use on your skin, and she also does Botox and filler, and I knew she wouldn't overdo it or wouldn't try to oversell me on things. Like she goes for a very natural look with like minimal intervention, and I was so ready to see her. So when I finally met Jen, I told her that I wanted like a non-wedding wedding pathway, because you know how you see people on like Instagram or TikTok, they are gonna get married in like the next year or something, so they go and they're like, okay, I have a year to get my skin where I want it to be. That's what I wanted, even though I'm not anywhere close to having a wedding. But I was like, same thing for me. I just want, in 12 months, I want my skin to look a million times better. Like, what do we have to do to get there? She laid out for me a few things. First, she took before and after photos, which I don't actually have yet from her. Like I did get to see them, but she hasn't shared them quite yet. I will link that down below when they are. First thing was to get me on really good medical grade skincare, which I was using back home, but I felt like I was just kind of blindly buying. Like I never worked with one like expert specifically, and so I felt like I was like, yeah, I need vitamin C, I'll buy this. Or I think retinol's a good idea, like I'll buy this. But she was like, no, use this in the AM and then this other product in the PM, and this before bed, and like this twice a week, this other thing 3 times a week. And I felt like she really listened to what I needed and what I wanted. Like she asked what I wanted to work on most with my skin, and I mean, the results speak for itself. I felt like she really listened and really made a plan for me. In terms of treatments, didn't really do too much. She was like, you don't need microneedling, you don't need like the Morpheus, you don't need all those really heavy, strong procedures. Like you just need like the Clear and Brilliant laser, which is kind of like the, I guess, gentle of the lasers. She's like, you do have some kind of discoloration, like a lot of freckles, a lot of sun damage, and some slight like different textures on your skin. But the Clear and Brilliant is really all you need, like 3 treatments a few weeks apart. I've had 2 Clear and Brilliant treatments so far, and it's honestly, once you see the photos, it's so different. Like I get freckles so easily on my skin, and I was not wearing SPF. I will say, I will admit that. But obviously now that I'm living in LA, I am using SPF. But my freckles, like they were starting to form just one giant freckle, and it was not cute anymore. Like I love freckles, but when it was just one big freckle, not cute. My skin is so clear now. Obviously, she got me on SPF daily. She did touch up my Botox, which I have been getting for like 10 years now. But when she did it, she put in less units of Botox than I've ever had before and got it done. I just love getting Botox. Like even if, I know people are like, oh, it's not really like skincare, but it does. Like for those of you who get Botox, like, you know, when it runs out, your skin just feels like droopy and just sad looking, and then when you get your Botox touch up, your skin is like plump and glowing. That being said, it was not free. Makeup is definitely more affordable than these medical grade skincare products and like Botox and lasers. It is an investment. Like makeup is useful, but looking back, I wish I had invested in these things earlier because they do have longer term effects. Like makeup, you put it on, you wash it off, but these things, like now I'm comfortable every day not wearing makeup. I'm a big advocate for saving your money on the makeup and instead investing that into these things that will make a difference for a lot longer in your life. So I recommend not only investing in like the skincare, quality skincare, but like expert advice from dermatologists or other like certified estheticians. Obviously like the expert recommended facials or lasers or treatments. Another thing is just like overall health and wellness and like healthy diet and like working out or movement and just staying hydrated. Staying hydrated is so, I feel like people don't talk about it enough. Like people know about it, but I feel like you do need a reminder to just like drink water. It does so much for your skin. The second thing I've been doing to really cut down on my daily makeup routine is to audit your makeup routine. So I'm a millennial and I feel like I'm just programmed to purchase eyeshadow palettes and carve out my brows and conceal, bake, brighten and all those things. But like I said before, actually buying and applying and wearing all of those makeup products, it just doesn't fit my lifestyle anymore. Of course, there's like a time and a place when we have date night on the weekends, or I just feel like wearing it. I have some time off to just dig into my makeup kit, feel really good and wear all my makeup before it expires. Of course, but day to day, it's better for me to really be minimal about it. Of course, I can still appreciate a really good smoky eye or like perfectly contoured cheeks, but I don't really need to be wearing that day to day. So in terms of editing your daily makeup routine, I would ask yourself, like, what can I cut out? Like, what can I edit out? What do I not really need to be using day to day? Or the opposite of that, like, what do I need in my kit or what do I need every day to make myself feel like me? And for me, that is for sure my brows, which I said I already kind of did. I do have my brows microbladed, but I still fill them in. I use the Urban Decay, the brow blade, because I feel like it has the smallest kind of, it's actually double-ended, but has the smallest kind of pen on the end here to really make like the hair strokes. Then I also use a volumizing pomade just on the brow hairs because my brow hairs are actually like blonde and it's just like this one here. But I use the one by Merit in the color taupe, and the brow blade is, like I said, Urban Decay, and it is in taupe trap. So these 2 things for my brows, that's what I'm wearing right now. Another thing that makes me feel like me is mascara. I have a couple mascaras and I also sometimes use pretty often I use a primer. Right now in front of me I just have the Urban Decay Perversion. This mascara is so good. It's definitely volumizing, lengthening, like a bolder lash. I also have the Clinique Lash Power Mascara and I have that in like a brown, and that's more for like my easygoing days. It's not as thick or anything. It just gives a nice solid coat of like brown. I do get them dyed, but at baseline they're like really blonde too, so they're like non-existent. And then lastly, I try to only choose 2 products per feature. So like for my lashes, for example, I have like a primer and 1 mascara that I go to, done. Like my brows, I have the brow blade and then the pomade, done. For my under eyes, I just use 1 concealer and then a under eye powder, done. I'm actually gonna start doing my makeup now, but I'll talk about how much I used to use, especially for my under eyes. First, I'm just gonna start with the Summer Fridays Sheer Skin Tint. I'm actually really into skin tints right now. I haven't used a foundation in so long because I just don't need that like full coverage anymore. So I'm just gonna go on that. I use the shade 4, and then I have my It Cosmetics brush, but usually I just put this on with my fingers. or hands or whatever. But for my under eyes, I used to use 6 different products. So I'd go in with foundation, first of all. I used to use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, like who hasn't? Especially as a millennial, it's like the classic millennial foundation. I still have some, but even when I'm going out for special events and I like put some on, I'm like, this is too much. I don't feel like I need it. I like my skin to look like skin now, which is what these like skin tints do. This one actually doesn't have an SPF in it, but I do have the Summer Fridays SPF that I put on just before this. It's just like a sheer, there's no color to it or anything. I switch between this Summer Fridays skin tint and I also have Sun Better Advanced Mineral Protection SPF. It's the Tone Smart. It's just like a compact SPF. It's a cream skin tint, and I kind of just take a brush and stippling brush and I will just put that all over my face too, and it gives a really nice glow, but it is a bit more mineralized-y of a glow versus this, which you can see is like a very natural like dewy glow. This is more mineralized because it does have SPF in it. I'll actually put a picture here. I swatched both of them before. You can kind of tell the difference. Mostly in the color. Sun Better is a bit more neutral and this might be a bit more warm, but they're both gorgeous and I kind of just switch between the two depending on which one I feel for the day. But anyways, back to my eyes. I was putting foundation on, so like medium coverage foundation. And then I was using the, I don't know if you remember, the Becca Pink Under Eye Cream that was supposed to be like brightener / color corrector. So I used that and it was kind of like a thicker cream too. It wasn't just a light concealer, it was like thick. And then I'd use 2 different concealers and then I'd use an under eye powder, brightening powder as well. So I'd set it with a powder and then I'd go with a like brightening powder from, what was it, from Kim Kardashian's line, like the first one that she came out with, and I would use that. And it was literally 6 products. And then the thing is, I'm somewhat self-conscious about my under eye. Like I know that they are dark. They're not super wrinkly or anything, but I wish there were no wrinkles. I think I was just so obsessed with covering it all up that I just overdid it. Like I did not need 6 products under my eyes. Like the only thing I'm using right now is the Natasha Denona High Glam Correcting Concealer. It's a brightening and hydrating crease proof serum correcting concealer. I do have Natasha Denona concealers as well, and they have like more of like a beige or skin color lid, and this one is color correcting because it's orange and it color corrects like the blueness, purpleness under my eyes. And it's a bit more orangey. I don't know if you can kind of tell. Orangey compared to like a normal concealer. And this is literally all I use under my eyes. And yeah, it doesn't cover them 100%. Again, like I just want my skin to look like skin. I don't feel like I need it super perfect because I just like what it looks like when there are a bit of imperfections, because that's just what it is. So then after the Natasha Denona color corrector, I go in with the Pat McGrath, the Sublime Perfecting Blurring Under Eye Powder, and I use medium. And I was using the Givenchy Prisma Libre. I have it in both, I think number 2 and 3. 2 is a bit more yellowy, and then 3 is a bit more like rosy, which is good for your under eye too for brightening. But I think we all know what's happened to that, and they changed the formula and it is no longer what it once was. I still do have the original ones, like both of them. I don't want to run out of them, so I'm conserving them. And I really do like this Pat McGrath one. I don't think it's talked about enough. Really just like a good blurring, and I think it's nice and simple, and it's lasted me forever too. You don't need much. And that's the thing, because I was using so much product, like 4 different creams and 2 different powders, my eyes were creasing so much and they looked so heavy and wrinkly, and why was I sabotaging myself? Like why? But editing my makeup routine was like the best thing I ever did. So after that, I go in with everyone's favorite product ever, the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpting Transforming Skin Enhancer. You can see I've already used so much of it. This is in the shade medium. This kind of brings like life back to my face. So when I said that to feel like me, I need brows and mascara, this would be like top 3. The third thing is like some sort of bronzer. I think everyone that knows me knows that I love bronzer more than anything else. I will wear no foundation and just this, or just some other sort of bronzer, because it just brings dimension and life to my face, and I just love to look like and feel sun-kissed. Especially this one is good because, I mean, I'm sure hopefully everyone's used it by now, and if you haven't, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to try this. It is like a balm, like it gives like a really nice glow, and it's also bronzery in that it gives a bit of color, but not too much color. Like it's not super orangey. And there's a bit of contour because it's not so orangey, but it's definitely not cool tone either. It is warm, but it's not too orangey in that it's like strictly a bronzer. So put that over like my eyelids too. I feel like I have a really big like under eye area, so I'm like, I gotta shade some of that with some of this on the chin as well. I kind of cut the chin a little. And then the last thing is mascara and eyes. And I said before, like my lashes are pretty blonde at baseline when I don't have them dyed. And sometimes I have to go in with a liquid liner to fill in even just like the roots if the roots aren't dyed, because if I don't fill in the roots, then I worry about not covering it with mascara, because not all mascaras, especially the Urban Decay one for sure, like the brush is quite large. So it's hard to get to like the root of my lashes. And if I don't get to the root, and there's this like very visible gap of like mascara covered lashes and then like blonde lashes, like you can see the root of my lashes and it's blonde, and then my eyelids. So I typically have to go in with a liquid liner and fill in that gap before I put mascara on. And I use the Kat Von D tattoo liner, and I just use the brown one. It's like the least harsh, like it's less harsh than a black liner. And then I will just go in with my mascara, fill that in. I didn't put any primer on today. We'll see how long they look. I do my bottom lashes too. Again, they're super blonde. I just feel like for my face, they make my eyes look a bit bigger and more awake. And that's pretty much it for my makeup. Like I really only used a few products, especially compared to what I used to use before. And I feel like it's just like a natural look. I don't usually set my skin. Sometimes I will with either like the Givenchy, or I'll go in with like an actual bronzer, like NARS Laguna or something, and set it. But I'm happy like this. And there you go, ready for the day. Like, I don't know, I feel like it just looks so much better than when I used to pile on the makeup. And again, like this video isn't for girls that like to wear all that makeup. You do you. Like I was that person, and part of me wishes I did work at a job where I could just be so creative with all of that makeup every day, but it's just not my life anymore. I really do like how my skin looks. This is for the girls that really do want to like cut down on their makeup routine and just like feel more confident in their own skin, or having trouble with that. And yeah, I'm here to tell you, skin is in, less is more. But that's the thing, like now that I've been living in LA, I can confirm that the no makeup look is the look for every day. It is the look. It's too hot for full coverage here if you're gonna be out and about in your car for hours because traffic is wild. Smoky eyes that we might be doing in Vancouver where it's raining like 9 months of the year, they don't look as good in the sunlight when it's sunny for like 9, 10, 11, 12 months of the year here. And I mean, LA is known for being kind of effortless and casual everywhere. That applies to the makeup as well. You don't have to go all out on makeup every day unless you want to. And for the third thing that I've learned from moving to LA that has helped me cut down on how much makeup I use and just help me feel more confident in my skin is to not overthink it and to act like the skin that you want. So anyone that knows me knows that I am an overthinker. If someone were to describe me in one word, they'd be like overthinker. Easy. That's it. That's me. I overthink everything in my life. And when it comes to like makeup and skin, I used to think, am I wearing too much makeup? And am I not wearing enough makeup? What will people think of me when I'm wearing this makeup or when I'm not wearing makeup? Like, do I have a zit on my face? Is that why people are looking at me? How do I cover this up? Should I use more or less? It's exhausting. And then if I ran out of time to do my 6-step under eye routine and all the other things, I would overthink that and get anxious about it. Truly, it's just like a lot of wasted energy, and that can be redirected towards something more positive and productive. We're our own toughest critic, and the beautiful thing about makeup is that you can wash it off and start fresh tomorrow. So there are 3 things that I realized that helped me stop that vicious cycle of overthinking. And this didn't happen overnight. This is still an ongoing thing. But just realizing that 1, no one is looking at your face and picking out your flaws. Like no one is staring at you and being like, wow, this girl really needs to fix this and this and this. Like no one does that. Even though in our heads we think people are, no one does that in real life. And if they are, it says way more about them than it does about you. And that's truly like none of your business. Just there's no point of wasting energy on that. Point number 2 that we should realize is that there are people out there that would do anything to have your skin, your features. You have what other people want, and just like own it. Your goals. So own it and work with it and appreciate it. Point number 3 is to realize that people remember you for how you made them feel, not for how you looked. So when I think back to interactions I've had like last month, like I remember how those interactions went and how those people made me feel, but I don't remember if they had a zit, or I don't remember if they had like some scar on their face, or if their mascara was running. Like I don't remember any of those things. So I hope that helps you realize that Just like don't overthink it, and it's more about how you make someone feel than how your face looks that day. You might be expecting me to say, you know, be confident in your skin. And while that's true, and I do think confidence is very important, it's not something that people can just turn on and off like a light switch. I still have my off days. I'm not always super confident, and I'm lucky to have people around me that really do hype me up. Like my boyfriend loves when I am in my natural skin. He loves when I wear makeup, but he's also very supportive and treats me the exact same when I'm not wearing any makeup. And I feel like he likes it better because I don't get it all over his shirts when I hug him. And my girl Jen Hollander, she hypes me up so good with my skin. She's like, why do you wear makeup? Actually, when I first moved to LA, that was like the first thing she asked me. She was like, your skin is amazing. Why are you wearing so much makeup? And that alone was like, whoa, you're right. Just having people in your life that can kind of hype you up and make you feel confident, do it. But I'm not going to tell you to be confident, because that's like telling someone who is having an anxiety attack to be like, hey, calm down. Like it's not gonna work, and I know that. But there's these things you can do, those 3 things you can realize to just not overthink it, and hopefully that helps you own your skin and not feel like you necessarily need to wear that much makeup if you don't want to, and if it doesn't work for you anymore. The other part of this, I did say don't overthink it, and I also said to act like the skin that you want. And I created this because you probably heard the phrase, dress for the job that you want, not the one that you have, or fake it till you make it. It's kind of similar to those, but not really, but it's act like the skin that you want. So kind of goes to my last point of what I was recommending. You know, people remember you for how you made them feel, not how you look. Similar to that. So if you want glowy, bright skin, be that. Like be that. Have that be your personality. Be bright, be glowy, be outgoing, be hydrated. If you want your skin to be hydrated, act hydrated and drink water. You know what I mean? So if you act like the skin that you want, it'll show through, makeup or not. And you know, at the end of the day, after all is said and done, all that matters is how you feel about yourself and how you feel in your own skin. And anyone else's opinion does not matter. And that's it. Those are the 3 things that I learned that helped me feel more confident in my skin and help me cut down on my daily makeup routine, because we love makeup, but we don't need to overdo it. Less is more. You know, it's taken me over a year to get to this point. You know, habits are so hard to break, but I've listed everything down below, and I actually have a Substack I'll link below too, where if you prefer this in written form, I have a article where I type this all out, and there's some pictures there too. I actually also added 3 more quick tips there too that help me cut down on my daily makeup routine and make me feel just more like me day to day, even though I'm not wearing layers and layers of makeup like I used to. So take a quick read of that, subscribe if you like, subscribe to this video, my YouTube channel as well. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and have a great week. Bye for now.